Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2. This is SistahCrystal here with Let's Talk Classic Hip Hop, and I'm gonna get right into it. Earlier today, maybe like a few hours ago, I just received the news that legendary living legend DJ Spinderella, that's Dee Dee Roper, was how can I say it, kicked out of the legendary pioneering hip hop group Salt N Pepa. However, what really bothers me about this is, it's not like it's the first time that a group member has been kicked out or let go from a group. What bothers me about this departure is it's been reported that DJ Spinderella was kicked out of Salt N Pepa 4 months ago, back in January 2019, via email. Now, what bothers me about that is this young lady has been with Salt N Pepa for nearly almost over 32 years, since 1987. Salt N Pepa, without going into the whole history, Salt N Pepa had another DJ by the name of LaToya Hanson or LaToya Green, and she left shortly after the release of their debut album, Hot, Cool, and Vicious, in 1986. And shortly after that, that's when they found DJ Spinderella, Dee Dee Roper, the Spinderella that we know and love. And she was only like 15 or 16 years of age. So pretty much this young lady has pretty much grown up with Salt N Pepa. Salt, Cheryl James or Cheryl Way, and Peppa, Sandy Denton, that's her name. And they practically grew up together. But Salt and Peppa are a bit more closer in age than Spinderella. I think Spinderella, she's like 47, and I think Salt and Peppa, they're in their early 50s. They're still young, but I'm just saying. But this really bothers me because although this is the second time that I heard about some disputes about whether or not Spinderella was a third member of Salt N Pepa. Actually, that situation came up years ago when they had the show, the Salt N Pepa Show. That was a reality TV show that came out in 2007. And the issue back then was Spinderella the third member of the group or not. And so they showed that. And then the issue has come up again in 2019. Now, I'm not exactly sure what happened as far as the breakdown in communication that whoever, and I'm not blaming Salt N Pepa because I don't know the business stuff or whatever, but why was it sent via email? How come there couldn't have been a sit down meeting and, or something like that? I mean, at least have the respect. And I'm saying this as someone that is an absolute, I would call myself a stan fan of Salt Pepa and Spinderella Dee Dee Roper. And I'm being very specific by saying Dee Dee Roper because the first Spinderella has reemerged a few years ago, and she calls herself the original Spinderella. And she can call herself whatever she wants to, but I feel that the first Spinderella is trying to ride off the coattails of Dee Dee Roper. She is the Spinderella that we know and love. She is the one that has been out here holding it down for DJs, not just women DJs, but DJs period, for over 30 years. I cannot think of another woman DJ that's currently out there doing it right now. Now we can say, and I am going off into a different rabbit hole, but this is kind of a rant. I'm just really hurt, and maybe, I'm not too proud, and I just turned 44 on this past Monday. So I pretty much, Salt N Pepa were one of my first groups as far as hip hop that I listened to, one of the first groups whose cassette I bought. In fact, my entire Salt N Pepa and Spinderella, Dee Dee Roper collection is all in cassette tapes. I have one that's on CD, which is the Salt and Pepper blitz of remixed hits or something like that came out in 1990. But other than that, the rest, all of my Salt and Pepper music right now, I can't play it because it's all on cassette tape. That just shows how long they've been around, and I'm glad they're still here. It just bothers me that when does humanity kick in over business? I mean, I understand it's business or what have you, but the business to me is, I always thought of Salt and Pepper as three people: Salt, Pepper, and Spinderella. I never saw Spinderella as expendable. I never saw her as, oh, we can not have her. Now, currently, Salt and Pepper are on a tour. Now, to give them credit, they have been on tour, I believe, for the past 3-4 years, nonstop, with the I Love the 90s tour. And the tour has changed up names multiple times, but they have remained a staple on these tours in the recent years. However, I have to be honest, I'm not excited knowing that Spinderella will not be there and it will just be Salt and Pepper. Even though I love Salt and Pepper, I want to see all three of them together. And it does not excite me at all to just see Salt and Pepper, because I will always watch, every time when I see just two of them, even in an interview, I'm always thinking, like, where's Spinderella? Like, Spinderella is supposed to be there. I'm sorry, and if Salt and Pepper or their people ever listen to this, I am a huge Salt and Pepper fan, which is why I'm really invested in this. But I don't agree with how it went down, and I don't agree with Spinderella having to be the one to put it on her Instagram yesterday, May 2nd, that she was kicked out of the group 4 months ago. And I give her credit. She was able to keep this quiet. I really don't understand why Salt and Pepper's publicist or whoever's responsible for that did not come out and say that Spinderella was no longer in the group. And I don't understand that, because I have been hearing some, what do you call that, commercials and advertisements for the I think it's called the mixtape tour right now, and they always say, when it comes to Salt and Pepper, Salt, Pepper, and Spinderella. Well, that is misleading if Spinderella is not there. I also see all three of their pictures. So my thing is, if Spinderella is no longer on with Salt and Pepper, whoever is responsible for advertising it should not advertise it as Salt, Pepper, and Spinderella. And they should not have Spinderella's image on there, because it gives the fans the illusion that all three, Salt, Pepper, and Spinderella, will be performing, when it will just be Salt and Pepper. And not saying Salt and Pepper is, that's not adequate enough, but I'm sorry, it's three people. It's Salt, Pepper, and Spinderella. I get it, money or what have you. But I had the privilege to be able to see some old concert footage. And Spinderella, when she does her set, it's a show within a show. You have Salt, Pepper, and then when Spinderella does her set, it's amazing just watching her do her set, because she's a turntablist. So she does things with the turntables that you don't normally see. She don't just spin records. She has a technique, and that's great to see. I've seen shows where Spinderella would spin the records and Salt and Pepper would, they would do the different dances, and it would be very they would involve the crowd. So I'm not exactly sure how it's set up that Spinderella will not be a part of Salt and Pepper. But I have to say, just as a longtime Salt and Pepper fan, I am very, very disappointed and very, I don't want to say hurt, but I just can't imagine. But one thing, I can't imagine that they would give that type of news to her through an email. What if she missed the email and showed up for rehearsal or whatever? I mean, what you say? Oh, didn't you get my email? It's like, come on now. What was you doing 30 years ago? It wouldn't have been no email 30 years ago. I'm just saying, I'm really saddened. It's like cold blooded for real, cold hearted, and I can't believe it. This young lady grew up with these. With they all grew up together. They all were pretty young, but especially Spinderella. Spinderella was a minor. I think Salt was the one that had to speak to Spinderella's parents, which, from my understanding, I think both of Spinderella's parents are no longer physically here. So Salt had to speak to her parents to get permission for Spinderella to tour with them. And then over 30 years later, she just gets dropped like she's a independent contractor. Like, what the heck is that? I mean, I know what that is, but no, Spinderella is not an independent contractor. She's a part of the group. I want to see Salt, Pepper, and Spinderella. I want to see all three of them. If it's just Salt and Pepper, there's someone missing. And I'm quite sure Salt and Pepper will get tired of people asking them, where's Spinderella? Where's Spinderella? Because I'm going to be one of the ones saying, where's Spinderella? Where is Spinderella? Where is Spinderella? She is the third member of Salt and Pepper. She's the third member. She is. I mean, I don't know about the inner workings of business, but an email, come on. An email to say that you're no longer in the group after over 32 years? Are you kidding me? Really? I'm hurt. Actually, I'm not going to edit this out either. I'm really angry and hurt. I'm just glad that Spinderella's taking it well. I commend Spinderella. I give her kudos that she was able to, and I'm not putting it all on her. Salt and Pepper's people should have came out with a statement and let people know that Spinderella was no longer in the group. And here I am, I'm going to try to scrape up my pennies or whatever to try to see them because I know they're on tour. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care to see them without Spinderella. Now, I'll watch Spinderella by herself, but I don't care to see Salt and Pepper without Spinderella. And mainly because of I'm just really blown away and really angry that they would get rid of her from through an email. I don't think that Spinderella, I think she's a level-headed businesswoman. I don't think she was gonna go to fisticuffs, as they used to say, the old school. I didn't think she was gonna put some hands on them. Well, they not. I know they not scared of Spinderella. Like, you know what? We gonna send an email to her because we afraid of her. She probably gonna put some hands on us. I don't think she would do that. I mean, from what I hear, Pepper's the one with the hands. Pepper's the one that's fighting men's and throwing tables around and stuff like that. Nah. I'm just saying, Spinderella seemed like a reasonable young woman, and there's no reason that they had to let her go through an email after all these years. She's been the only woman out here holding it down for 30 years, and that's what she gets. And these are women. It's already tough enough in the entertainment industry for women as it is, and especially women of color. And okay, I'm rambling. I'm a go, but that's messed up, Salt. That's messed up, Pepper. Salt, you religious lady. Now, I don't want to come down on you because I'm just hearing that you and your husband got divorced. I'm hurt about that. Like, well, dang. Especially the way they met. And Pep, come on, Pep. Come on. You said you would have fun with Spinderella. She was your hangout partner. Come on. Really? An email? That's y'all sister. I mean, that's not your blood sister, but come on. Y'all grew up together practically. All y'all adult lives, Wow. Let me go. Like, comment, subscribe. All right.